Hi, my name is Vidya. I have an Instagram, Vibrantly Vidya, where I share my makeup looks. I typically do more colorful makeup looks. My makeup today isn't really reflective of that because I'm coming onto video after work, but I do really love indie palettes, colorful makeup, and sharing the looks that I do on Instagram. But I wanted to try out YouTube specifically so I could talk more about makeup. I sometimes feel like captions can be limiting, and I wanted to talk more about eyeshadow palettes. So starting off today, I wanted to share 10 palettes that I bought in 2025 that I haven't had a chance to use yet. I am trying to make it a goal for 2026 to be more thoughtful about what I'm bringing into my collection. I have a pretty large makeup collection, which you can see in the back there, and I want to be able to use what I already have and love. One of the goals that I made is to use these 10 palettes before I purchase any new palettes in 2026, and then continuing throughout the year, just being more careful and thoughtful about what I am deciding to purchase. Starting off with, I have a couple of different brands here. I have multiple palettes from a few brands. So the first one, Fantasy Cosmetica, I actually have 2 palettes from that I haven't had a chance to use yet. The first is Bard, which I won in a contest that they had over the summer. This is a beautiful jewel-toned color story. Looks like this. I really enjoy Fantasy Cosmetica's formula. I also really like their 9 pans. I have 4 others, and then I also have Harvest of Souls. I like that these are magnetic, so that I used the ones that I had in BYOPs. So I enjoy these for that as well, but I also do plan to use this palette on its own to see what looks I can do with this color story individually. And then the second one is Fighter. I got this thanks to Caitlin. I will post her Instagram handle in the description as well. But she had an Instagram declutter where I purchased 4 palettes, and then she had a couple of other palettes that she had received. So she asked if I wanted them. One of them was Fighter, and I again love these 9 pans, so I was glad to have this one. This is one that I held off on purchasing simply because it's more of a neutral, a cool to a neutral palette, which isn't always what I go for. But Rose, I'll put their handle below as well, always raves about this palette, and they've created some incredible looks with it. So I'm excited to have this now, and again do some looks individually with this, but also be able to use these shadows in BYOPs. The next 2 palettes I have to share are also from one brand. They are from Unearthly Cosmetics. I made a pretty large order when they had a 60% off sale. It didn't apply on this new collection, Dead Cute, at that time, but it did apply on some of the older palettes. So specifically, I wanted to get Unearthly Not Normal, which I've had my eye on for a while now. It is a green, purple, grungy color story. And I was unsure about getting this because they changed their pan sizes, and I really liked being able to mix and match across my Unearthly palettes, and I have taken several of them on trips with me. But I did see that this new pan size is similar to Adept, and I think Blend Bunny as well, although I don't have any of the magnetic Blend Bunny palettes to know for sure. But Adept does beautiful shimmers, and this is more of a matte heavy palette, so I knew I could also use this to mix and match with the Adept palettes that I have. But again, I do plan to do 2 looks 1 palette with all of these palettes. I typically try to do 3 looks when I get a new palette, but at least 2 just to really figure out what kind of looks I can do with the color story and how I feel about the formula. I do think for the most part this looks to be the usual twinkly Unearthly formula that I like from Shimmers, and I always like working with Unearthly mattes as well, so I'm glad to have this one. And then the other one is Dead Cute. This is one I went back and forth on picking up simply because some of these shades look to be, some of the shimmers look to be more of satins, and I don't always love satins. I really love sparkly eyeshadows, but I do love colorful bright shadows, so the mattes in this really appealed to me. So I'm excited to have this. Next few palettes I have are all shimmer palettes, which typically I would think of more as singles, but since they are new to me, I have categorized them initially as palettes in my collection, and so I wanted to share them here. The first is one from Clionadh. It is a mystery quad So it has 4 shimmers that actually don't have names, but they are very shifty, beautiful shimmers, and I'm excited to wear them. And then the next 2 palettes I have are from Dieverune. I've been eyeing their Dewdrops palettes for quite some time, specifically the original Dewdrops palette, since that's been out for over a year now, and I've seen some people do incredible looks using this. I am very excited for the shade Drop, which is the shade here. It is also released as a highlight separately, and it just looks so glowy on the skin. So I'm excited to use these shades both as eyeshadows but also as highlighters. The other one is Dewdrops Part 2. That's what this one looks like. Glad to have both of these in my collection now, and can't wait to see what looks I come up with both of them. Then for final 2 palettes, I have 2 C Beauty palettes. I've really gotten into C Beauty, so these are Chinese beauty brands in the past few years. They have some incredible formulas that I've really enjoyed playing with. The first is another one that I received thanks to Caitlin. She, I think, received this from C Beauty Mall. She did not have a good time working with this formula. I think the shimmers creased on her. But I love this color story, and I wanted to see for myself what this would be like. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of this, so I will put the list in the I'll put the name of this palette in the description. But yeah, this will be my first time trying this brand, and I am curious to see how it'll work out for me. And then the last palette here is probably the one I'm most excited about. One, because it is the most expensive out of all the palettes that I have, but it's also a brand that I've wanted to try for a couple of years now. It's Sugarock, which is a difficult brand to get here. C Beauty Mall does sell it, and Look Healthy store, but there is a markup on this. So I did, for the first time, purchase this through Superbuy, which a friend was really great on Instagram and showed me how to make that work. But this palette did cost me a little over $100, which is the most I've spent on an eyeshadow palette. Although I have some Pat McGrath and Janessa Myricks in my collection, I've always used gift cards for those. So this is the first time that I've really spent a lot of money on one eyeshadow palette, but I've been curious about the formula for a while. I've heard really good things, and this color story just spoke to me so much that I really wanted to have it. It's very vibrant. The shimmers look beautiful. I haven't even swatched this yet. This is what that looks like, and I'm very, very excited to play with it. This clip in because I realized as I was editing that I kept mentioning 10 palettes, but I only showed 9. The one that I missed was this Charmacy Quad. It's a CMC Insane Quad eyeshadow palette. It's in shade 4. So it's a all shimmer quad that looks like this. I haven't tried anything from the brand before. This was sent to me in PR. I'm excited to try it out. I received 2 other products from the brand too. So we'll see how this goes. Those are the 10 palettes that I have, that I purchased last year that I haven't had a chance to use yet. They're the palettes I'm going to be focusing on for this month, and I'm really excited to play with all of them. I think they're all beautiful color stories, and I am eager to see what looks I can come up with each of them. This is my first YouTube video, so it's a little bit awkward, still figuring things out, but I just wanted to be able to talk more about makeup, specifically indie eyeshadow palettes, which I've really come to love in the past few years, and I think YouTube is a better forum to be able to chat more about palettes and makeup in general. So I'm glad to be here. We'll see how this goes, but thanks for listening.